Hello, Manzar. Sorry for the delay in providing you the feedback, but here we are at last. Let's have a look at the letter first. Dear Management, my name is Nathan Jones, and I have been a loyal employee of WCS Incorporated Limited for the past 5 years. I'm currently managing digital department in the company. I'm currently managing the digital department. Okay. Okay. Yours faithfully. This is great. Okay. Apart from uh, capitalization, I wouldn't say that addressing your management as dear management is completely polite. It is customary to address a person that you don't know by dear sir or madam, right? You have the absolutely perfect closure for this, yours faithfully, and you sign with your full name. Absolutely great. So, dear management is not quite fine. Yet, um, you're writing the letter to your employer, right? So you know who your superior is. So it would be kind of understood that you know the name of this person. You might say, Dear Mr. Attenborough, something like that. Something like that. Okay. So this is a first sentence in the letter that doesn't communicate the purpose of this letter. Look at this. You want to take a course related to your work. So this, and by the way, capitalization. This really needs to contain this purpose. For example, um, I'm currently managing the digital department in the company, and I'm writing to you regarding um, enrolling in an online course that will benefit me in my working process. And that's it. Oh, that's why Nathan is writing to me. Oh, wait a second. My name is Nathan Jones. And then you sign, wait a second. And then you sign Mark Attinger. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you say my name is Nathan Jones. And another thing here, I don't think you really need to say what your name is. You can simply say, I have been a loyal employee of this and that for and I'm currently managing the digital department of the company. I am writing regarding taking up a course and so on and so forth. Now, before I go on, I would like to draw your attention to the length of this letter. I'm looking here at the word count. You can't see it. I can try and do this. Look at this, you see. To 241 words. This is quite a lot. This means that this is way too much for an IELTS Task 1 letter. Please remember, the minimum is 150 words. You should be writing at best 220. 241 is going way over the top. I will try to read it fast because there's a lot of text, as there's a huge essay in part 2, and I will mention um, writing less and how important that is for the exam. To keep myself abreast with the ever-evolving digital world today, I thoughtfully dedicate 60 minutes of my leisure time to keep myself updated on the new trends and technologies that can help us maintain our leadership in the market. Recently, okay, you don't need a comma here, you need a full stop, right? Sentences that long are difficult for understanding. Recently, while doing my research, please mind your spelling. I came along with a 3-month intensive course of Digital Disruption Transformation Academy course. Um, I came along with? No. You probably mean I stumbled upon, like I accidentally discovered. Um, you probably mean at Transformation Academy. No, I don't think I understand what you mean here. Um, I don't know what you mean by Transformation Academy. If this is the name of the institution that offers this course, that you need to capitalize this. The course is designed and delivered by the digital world guru, Mark Wenby, and it covers the entire digital transformation of a company through disruption. Disruption. Wow, sounds interesting. This is all very good, but if you could compress this to, let's say, this, or even, let's say, this will be better. Okay, so this needs compressing. The information here is great, but it's excessive. You have to preserve only the most important thing. Okay, so you're describing what the course is. Personally, I would like to enroll for in this course, to develop a personal as well as professional acumen. Okay, you're repeating the same route. Um, So perhaps you should skip this personally, because it is not good style if you have the word have the same root in the same line. It sounds very, very weird. Okay, great use of vocabulary. This course will greatly add value to our company. I think something like moreover would do great, or more than that, and will put us at the forefront. Please make sure that you use prepositions that collocate appropriately with expressions of the digital world, and mind your articles. The course describes a model of operation for digital companies like us. If we can implement the same in our company, this will okay. So um, if we could implement the same in our company, it it would have a positive effect on our deliverables and thus improve our customer service. Absolutely brilliant, but please um, mm, mind the fact that the conditional would do much better. Also, please pay attention to your cohesive devices. You really need to work on your cohesion, because very often you write either long sentences or sentences without any connective element between them. And the fact that you put one after the other doesn't mean they are connected or logically somehow linked. Okay, great. And again, there is a missing connection here. You really have to flow from one paragraph into another. The course is conducted only on weekends, thus, and punctuation. Punctuation is really important too. Um, uh, yes, semicolon is much better. Thus, this will not directly impact my working hours during weekdays. Okay, how about slightly changing this? As the course is conducted only on weekends, it will not directly impact my working hours or my working performance during weekdays. The details of the course are attached along with this not mail, email for your perusal, and I am at your disposal if you wish to have a one-to-one discussion on the same what? About this, perhaps. Okay, you don't need this um okay, let's say about this course. Something like this. Again, this is not the only way of formulating this. I told you, you are answering the task questions great, absolutely brilliantly, but you're writing too much, which could affect your band score, because writing too much may be um, penalized by writing assessors. So please be very careful. Oh, this is way too long that I spent on the first task. Okay, you see, write an essay in no more than 250 words. Now look at this essay. I have selected it. I'm going to move it to the letters. 354. This is more than necessary by 100 words. So please make sure that you have an appropriate um, word count for whatever you write. And besides, if you write this much at the exam, you won't make it in 20 and respectively 40 minutes. I don't know how fast you write or type and which type of exam you sign up for, the paper-based or the computer-based. But if you write this much, this will affect your time management and um, it will affect your accuracy, spelling and grammar. You won't have any time left to proofread this. So take care. Let me read this very fast. I won't be able to comment on every single aspect in detail because there's too much text. That's why. And this is exactly what's happening on the exam. You are penalized because there's a certain logic and length for expression in the tasks of the IELTS writing exam. So research shows that global warming is caused by human activities. What are the possible effects? And when you write a task, please make sure that you write it correctly. Of climate change, and what can government and individuals do to reduce this? So a cause and effect essay. Global warming is indeed a direct byproduct spelling of urbanization and industrial revolution and an immediate threat. There is a plethora of research done on this subject with alarming outcomes, and climatologists and environmental experts around the world have raised a red flag. That's a different. There's rise and raise. If you put up something, you use the verb raise. For the deteriorating, now you see, probably mean deteriorating condition of our planet due to global warming. There are many severe and unfavorable effects of climate change on all living beings on Earth. One of the biggest threats and one of the biggest ones being extinction. Extinction of what? Of species, right? Personally, spelling double L, I firmly believe that governments, along with the industrialists, have a key role, don't use very with key, to play in order to reduce or even improve the current status quo. And individuals, too, you don't need to capitalize this, can contribute on their own to fight global warming. This sounds a bit awkward. So if you could compress this to one shorter sentence, and compress this to one sentence, one developed sentence, this would be a great introduction. You have brilliant ideas here. You have a brilliant vocabulary here. Yes, you do have a couple of spelling errors here and there and a couple of grammar errors, but this is absolutely beautiful in terms of addressing the topic and using vocabulary. Way to go, but please do write less. Governments around the world have acknowledged the fact that there is an immediate need to mitigate the threat under discussion. There are plenty of non-profit climate protection organizations that have developed measures to reduce global warming. Okay, for example, Save the Earth Incorporated, and you need to start this as a separate sentence, is a non-profit organization that has developed alternatives of fuel-based engines for vehicles that outperforms, no hyphen, that outperform, because the subject is vehicles plural, so you don't need the plural here, the singular here, their counterparts. Their what counterparts? Their fossil fuel counterparts. Government should support such foundations and exempt them from various taxes so that more and more research work on alternative resources of energy is carried out. You lost the verb for this clause. Absolutely brilliant ideas. Absolutely brilliant. But I do have a question. The essay says which are the effects of climate change and what should government do. Okay. Which are the effects? I can see a measure here. So this is one of the solutions. But which are the effects? The introduction doesn't count. The introduction only introduces the debate. So here industrialists and then individuals So I'm not sure that you spoke about the effects, or at least it's not very obvious. You need to be very, very clear about like these are the effects of climate change, and this is what the government and individuals should do. And you see, it says government and individuals. You also added the the tycoons, the industrialists, the corporations. So I might say that you stepped aside, you went astray from the topic because your topic says clearly government and individuals. It doesn't say corporations, and corporations are neither this nor that. So perhaps you should think of removing this paragraph altogether because it is off topic slightly and this will affect your task achievement. Okay, let me just have a look over it. Industrialists, on the other hand, also play an equally important role. You have an issue with articles and plurals. So, my small things in grammar, but you really need to work on them. The highest amount of CO emissions, CO or CO2? Which one? Both are important, but which one do you mean? That contribute the most to global warming is a direct outcome of industrialization, and they should come up, they should produce, please don't use phrasal verbs in academic essays, with more efficient and effective machinery that reduces CO emissions. We typically speak of CO2 emissions. Contribute, it's minor, but I can't stand seeing spelling errors. I have to correct them. Okay, another way that can reduce global warming is through investing in new startups that focus on alternative and green-friendly products, eco-friendly, we typically say. Great idea. I can see the effect. Okay, the effect here is very clear, but I'm not sure that I could see the effect of climate change here. Okay, and by the way, no, wait a second. It's the effects of climate change. This is the cause of climate change. I'm not sure this is about the effect. So even though this is written well, it again misinterprets the task. So this will affect your task achievement. Finally, as an individual contribution towards fighting global warming, each can contribute by adopting a more environmentally friendly lifestyle by reducing the use of single plastic and moving toward eco-friendly transportation. Perfect. Also, if each individual dedicates himself or herself spelling, consciously like that, reducing you need their CO2 footprint or carbon footprint, simply carbon, we can surely tackle this issue. Absolutely brilliant. Don't forget your punctuation, but if we think of removing this paragraph, you start having absolutely enough space for developing this paragraph because this is exactly what you need to do. So global warming is an effect of climate change, absolutely correct. But remember that you don't need to speak only about global warming. The task says which are the possible effects of climate change. Global warming and then what? Maybe harsher winters, sometime some areas of the world are experiencing not only a warming but also a more stark difference between seasons. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so you need to add a good example to this, like where has this been achieved? Which country is already doing this, maybe? And you need to conclude too. This is a nice beginning, but you don't have the space to develop. To conclude, human activities have contributed singularly for the global warming, and hence need immediate corrective action to maintain the delicate balance of life forms on Earth. Um, you're going somewhere else here. we you are moving kind of elsewhere. And also I think oh, look at this, look at this. You mentioned global warming and extinction. Have you mentioned extinction anywhere here? Extinction? No, 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 no. You have said that you will be discussing extinction, but you haven't discussed it. So you cannot announce um, a topic that will be developed in the introduction and then not develop it in the essay. Okay, this effort requires a collective action by all and cannot be achieved in isolation. Absolutely brilliant vocabulary. So, Manzar, your strong point is vocabulary and ideas. You have a very good depth of analysis. You have a great understanding of the issue. However, you really need to work on the coherence and cohesion of your writing. You write um, in a way that is not always easy to follow. Your also your task achievement really needs work because you add things that do not need to be discussed to the topic. You say that you will be discussing one thing, then you don't discuss it sufficiently. And going back to the coherence and cohesion, you don't finish paragraphs and you don't support your uh, ideas with sufficient development and exemplification. It is good, but it could be great. With the things that I see in your writing, it could really be great because you have great sentence structure, you have great vocabulary command, and you have great depth and logic of analysis. Just make sure that you work on the aspects that I mentioned, and please do reduce your word count because you're writing too much. So, this being said, again, apologies for the delay, and I'm really hopeful that this feedback is going to be very useful for you because you are coming very closely to your exam. All the best of luck in your exam, and if you ever feel the necessity to come back to us and practice more, explore the offer at the end of my reply email, and you are very welcome to come and work with us, and I will be happy to provide more feedback to your wonderful writing.